Alright, welcome back again to this tutorial. So in this video, we're going to talk about the equation of a circle. Equation of a circle. But before that, let's look at what a circle is. Circle. Now, basically, a circle is or may be considered as the locus of what? A point. A point, let's say point P with coordinate xy, which moves such that it is a constant distance from a what? A fixed point. Constant what? Distance from what? A fixed point. And this constant distance that we are talking about is called what? The radius. It's called the radius. So let's say we have a point here, a fixed point. A fixed point. Now, each point from this point to this fixed point here is the same as from this point to this point. The same as from this point to this point. From this point to this point. So each point on this curve line is what? Having the same distance for each point from the fixed point, right? So it means that when I move from this fixed point to this point, the same as from this point to the other point here, say, so basically a circle is what? Considered as the locus of a point which moves such that that's what? A constant distance from what? A fixed point. And this fixed point that we are talking about is called what? The center. This fixed point is called what? The center, right? And this constant distance that we are talking about is called what? The radius. The radius, right? It's called the radius. Now let's dive into the equation of what? A circle. So now we know the definition for what? A circle. What equation do we use to represent a circle? Now let's consider this plane here. We have the y and we have the x here. And so we have our circle here. Now, let's name this point C as our center. Let's denote it with AB as the center. Then the distance from here to here, which happens to be the constant or distance, is what? The radius. Now the point on the line on this one, point P, can be denoted as what? P as what? X, Y. So the distance from this point to this point, so from C to what? P is what? The radius. It's called the radius. Okay. Now the equation of the circle is given by CP equal to what? R squared. Now this CP here is talking about we are talking about the distance from C to what? P, to the magnitude from C to what? P. Should be equal to the R squared, which is the radius. Now let's consider this here. So it means that we're going to talk about the distance. We are going to find the distance here equating to this. Now basically, when you have to find a distance from 2 points, the distance between 2 points, so, and we have the point center as the AB, then we have the point X, Y. So you're going to find the distance from this point to this point. So basically, this is given by, we have x minus a all squared plus y minus b all squared. And this distance here from C to P is the same as what? The distance which is denoted as what? R, which is what? The radius. So this is called what? R. So now let's see. So it means that from here, to get rid of the square root, we take what? We square both sides. So when we square both sides, what happens is that this is going to turn to what? Squared, right? So this will go out. So when I square both sides, squaring both sides, so I have my x minus a all squared plus y minus b all squared equal to what? R squared. Now let's see what happens next. Let's expand this. This is the same as x minus a, x minus a. plus y minus b, y minus what? B equal to what? R squared. So this place will give us what? We are expanding x squared minus ax minus another ax plus this will give us y squared minus by minus another by plus what? B squared. So sorry, this is supposed to be plus a squared here. We didn't equal to what? R squared. So now let's see. Let's group this one here. We have x squared. We have plus y squared. This place is going to give us minus 2ax, right? Then we have another minus 2by, right? What is left? Now we have what again? This is here. This, we have it here. Then we have this here. This also here, right? So it means that we can get our a squared plus what? B squared equal to what? R squared. A squared plus B squared equal to what? R squared. Now let's bring this R here. X squared plus y squared minus 2ax minus 2by plus a squared plus b squared minus r squared equal to what? 0. Now let's do something here. So we are letting negative a should be equal to g, then negative b should be equal to f, and then a squared plus b squared minus r squared should be equal to, let's say, c. You can use k to represent that one too. Now, at this point, what do we have here? We are changing it. We are going to do the substitution here. So we have x squared plus y squared plus 2jx plus 2fy plus what? C equal to 0. So generally, this is the equation of a circle. Now let's look at something here. The center of the circle is given by negative g, negative f, right? So when you are given the equation of a circle, you can compare to get this negative g, negative f as what? The center. Then the radius is given by the square root of g squared plus f squared minus c, right? And there's a condition that under this, provided g squared plus f squared minus c is greater than what? 0. All right. So it means that when it's less than 0, we cannot, this is going to give us a complex number, right? Okay. So that is that for the equation of what? A circle. For the equation of a circle. Now let's note something. It is a second degree equation in both x and what? Y. And the coefficient of x squared and y squared, this x squared. So the equation is x squared plus y squared plus 2jx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. And the coefficient of x squared and y squared are always what? The same. And it does not contain any term involving x, y. Any term containing something like this does not involve something like that. Now let's take an example and solve under this equation of what? Equation of what? A circle. Right. So find the equation of a circle. Find the equation of a circle. Of a circle 3, 2, and radius 3. All right, so let's see. We are given the equation. We have to find the equation, right? And we are given what? The center and the radius. Now remember, before we got to the general equation of this circle, we did something here. From the diagram, we had the center as A, what? B. Then we have the point as what? X, XY. But in this case, we are given what? The radius. And we are saying that this is going to give us, we have x squared, sorry, this is r squared. So let's see. Center, our center C is 3, 2. The same as the AB. Then we are given radius to what? 3. So let's use this here. You have the center as 3, 2. Then the radius from here to here is what? 3. Right. The point, we don't know. Let's denote it with what? P as x, y. And we said that the equation is given by what? The magnitude from C to what? P equal to what? R squared. And the magnitude from C to P is the same as, is given by what? The root of x minus 3 squared. So this is A, right? AB plus y minus what? 2 squared should be equal to what? R. And this place, the R is what? 3. So the distance from here to here is the same as the radius. Now to get rid of the square root, then we square both sides, right? And this is going to give us x minus 3 all squared plus y minus 2 all squared equal to what? 3 squared. So let's continue. So we have, now this is the same as x minus 3, then x minus 3. We have plus y minus 2, y minus what? 2 equal to what? 9. So we have x squared minus 3x minus 3x plus 9. Then we have plus y squared minus 2y minus 2y plus 4 equal to what? 9. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared minus 4y plus 4 equal to what? 9. Let's simplify. We have x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 4y plus 9 plus 4 minus 9 equal to what? 0. Okay, so our equation will be x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 4y plus 4 equal to what? 0. So this is the equation of the circle, right? You can see that this is in the form x squared plus y squared plus 2jx plus 2fy plus c equal to what? 0. So if we are given the equation like this, you can compare to get the j and the f. And also with that, you can easily get the radius. All right. So you can be asked to find it when you are given the equation. You just have to write it in that general form, then compare. Right. Thank you for watching.